Hey there guys, it's Tina and I'm back. And I say I'm back because it has been a while. I have not really filmed or uploaded consistently in the last month or so I'm behind the 8 ball, but I'm catching up with you guys. I'm filling you in on what's been happening, right? While we try out some new products. So if you're back, welcome back. How's it going? Talk to me. Let me know what's going on. But if you're new and maybe you like what you see, please consider subscribing. We have tons of fun here on the channel talking about makeup and all things beauty, and we love trying out new products. So recently I went on the Creators and Friends trip. You guys heard about it, to NOLA, and we got a few goodies. So I am trying out one of the palettes that we got from Sigma. Fantastic, cool neutral palette. We are using this in the video today, the cool neutrals. And then I also have some new products from Salt New York. So we have their blush products and contour sculpting shades, as well as the new concealer. These we also got, some of them on the trip and some of them were sent to me after the trip. So these were all included as PR for that trip. I also have some new products that I picked up during the Sephora spring sale, like the little foundation here from Decay. Actually, one shade was sent to me in PR and one I picked up because I wasn't sure when it was gonna come, and I'm like, I'm gonna buy it on sale so I can get a discount, like hello. So I have 2 shades. I also am trying out the new Milk Makeup, what is this? The Foaming Primer. I bought this during the sale. I'm like, I want to try it out. It's gimmicky, but it's still giving. I want to try it out. So I picked this up to test. I also picked up the Too Faced Melting Bronzing and Sculpting Stick. Listen, okay, I picked this up during the sale as well, but it was because of Kelsey Brianna J. We went to Sephora on the trip, you know, the Creators and Friends trip. We're going to Sephora, checking things out, and we saw this and I grabbed it and no regrets. So we're trying this out again in this video. And I think lip gloss, we have Armani Beauty. Oh yeah, we have a new powder too, the new one from Hourglass. This is the Vanish Airbrush Press Powder. So if you want to see me try out all these products, hear my thoughts, but also catch up with me on what's been going on and why I'm kind of MIA on YouTube, then stay tuned and let's get right into it. Alright guys, so as usual, we're starting off with a clean, freshly washed face. Already filled in my brows with my Make Beauty Blade Line Pencil, as well as my Patrick Ta Major Brow Defining Brow Pencil. Of course, brows are on fleek. I applied my eyeshadow primer, which is my Urban Decay Anti-Aging Primer Potion, as well as my Merit Solo Shadow in Vaqueta. Under my brows, I have my NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer. Oh yeah, I got that right. The shade I have is Chestnut, just under my brows. Other than that, face is completely blank, so let's jump right into it because I have a lot to talk to you guys about and catch up with, as well as some fun new products that we're trying out. As I mentioned, some of these products were sent to me, some I recently picked up during the Sephora spring sale, that 20% off deal. I already tried them out in a Get Ready With Me. I'll link it over here with Kelsey Brianna J. Definitely check her out. But I wanted to try some additional products, still mix in some of those products in this video as well, and give you some additional thoughts. So let's jump into it, starting off with this little banger. So this is from Milk Makeup, and Milk Makeup is doing this gimmicky thing, which I feel like they've never truly done. They were all about the stick products and like clean beauty and all that. Now they're giving us gimmick with the jelly blushes. That was a gimmick, but to me it was great. I loved it. And now they're doing this. And you're probably like, all right, what is this? So this is the Milk Makeup Cloud Glow Priming Foam, and it has brightening turmeric. So it comes in a pump bottle. It is a liquid and it foams up. So it says here, a weightless cloud-like foam made with turmeric extract for a hydrated, smooth, glowy base before makeup application. All right, retails for $28. It contains 27 milliliters of product or 0.91 fluid ounce. It has an intended usage life of 6 months. I'm gonna shake it up. Does it say to shake it up? It doesn't say that, but it's a skincare product. It's meant to be a primer as well as skincare. So I'm gonna do let me do 2 pumps. It's a foam, obviously, right? So it pumps out as a foam, but in the bottle it's a liquid. And I'm just rubbing it together. It's a skincare packed priming foam that visibly brightens and hydrates to bring out your skin's natural glow and create a smooth base for makeup. And they've had great primers before, such as their Hydro Grip Primer. This is the sticky one. So maybe this is just a foaming version of that. And we've seen similar things on the market. This is not like the first foray into like a foaming moisturizer or primer, but it's the first like mainstream for real. I've seen Molly from Makeup Molly on Instagram use this whipped cream container. It looks like whipped cream when she squeezes it out, and it's actually a moisturizer. And I'm just like, that is so fun. I would never want to use it because it looks messy as hell. This foaming one I can get with because it wasn't as messy. I don't know. I don't feel anything on my skin. It's a little bit tacky. It's a little tacky, and on my hands it was a little sticky. So I will say it has that same kind of gripping feel as their original primer, that grip primer. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We're going to apply our foundation over it. We will see how it goes, but right now it doesn't feel hydrating in any way. It doesn't feel tight, but I have oily skin, so maybe that's something you have to consider. For me, it's fine. It says it brightens. I don't know how it's gonna brighten necessarily. I mean, I guess I look a little bit brighter, a little glowier. Anyway, let's move into the eyeshadow while we catch up. All right, so the palette we're using is the Sigma Beauty Cool Neutrals palette. I know, oh my God. So here's the palette. We got a sneak peek of this on the Creators and Friends trip in NOLA. Got the whole box, the whole thing, but now I can throw it out, right? So there are 14 cool tone hues in stunning matte, glitter, and metallic finishes. And this is based on the exquisite colors. I'm reading from the website. Unearth the brilliance of 14 cool neutral hues inspired by the exquisite colors of Brazilian agates with this glistening eyeshadow palette and dual-ended beauty brush. Featuring a versatile mix of matte, glitter, and metallic shades, Cool Neutrals has every pigment you need to create looks that are soft and neutral or edgy and glam. And this is what it looks like. So as it said, it is inspired by Brazilian agates, which is a mineral or a stone. You know those beautiful minerals that you see on display all the time? So when you cut into it, you'll see varying tones of gray and copper and brown and ivory. So one of the owners, which is a wife and husband duo, we actually had dinner with her and the Sigma team on the trip. And she gave a speech about the origins of Sigma and how much the brand means to her and how they pretty much developed and came to be. And now they're expanding, of course, into makeup. And this is the first palette from them that I'm truly intrigued by. The other products I haven't really been interested in. The brushes have always been great, right? But they had this issue where they would fall apart, and I had kind of veered away from them. I got into Fude, of course. You know me, I love a good like natural hairbrush. So these brushes weren't necessarily my vibe, but the clean and glove and the clean and matte, like definitely those are the things that I'm invested in, right? And when they came out with different palettes over the years, I wasn't really intrigued, honestly, truly. I was like, okay, cute, whatever. But when I saw this in person, I was like, that's right up my alley. To me, this is the first one that really pulled me in. So we have duos, and this was intentional. This is how Simone herself does her makeup. She says she puts the matte in the crease and then the shimmer all over the lid. She uses 2 eyeshadows and she's done. So she created this in duos. So if you look at the shades, they're duos across the board, but then they're even quads, right? You can create quads with the shades because they go from warmer to a mauve kind of cool tone shade to the grays, which you're probably expecting from a Cool Neutrals palette. And even though it says Cool Neutrals, I know it's kind of, what would you say? It's kind of not deceptive, but it's kind of against what you're expecting. Because when people say cool, you're expecting gray tone shades, neutral undertones, maybe even mauve shades. but not these warmer tones that you see on this side. So just look at it more on the mineral side with the agate, where it has like different warm tones mixed into the mineral as well as the cool tone shades, and just vibe with it that way. But there are definitely cool tone shades in the palette as well. But it's not strictly a cool tone palette, which I think is actually a decent approach. People don't necessarily love cool tone shades. Gray's not necessarily the vibe for everyone. Silver and all that, no. But I feel like this one has a great mix of shades, and I think it's very diverse, which is why I was excited when I saw it. So when we went into the restaurant, this palette was on display. We had all the boxes on our seats, and instantly I was drawn into the color story. And I made the comment like, this is the first Sigma palette that I'm actually interested in, like I'm intrigued. So this is the first time I'm really getting to try the quality. Last year they did give us a couple of 6-pan eyeshadow palettes. I gave those away. Shh. I didn't really love those, but this one I'm definitely excited about. So let's just dive into it, all right? I'm going to do, we'll see what kind of look I do. But let's start out with Harvest. So Harvest is more of a warm toned tan shade. It's a little bit deeper than my skin tone, so it's gonna give me a little bit of shadowing. So what's going on with you guys? All right, here's the thing. Where have I been? I have not been posting regularly. I mean, I still get a video up. I think one video a week has been the trend in the last couple of weeks. I think so. So my videos have kind of slowed down. And that is because, one, we went on that creators and friends trip that I mentioned to Nola. And I posted before that. I had videos ready to go. In fact, I edited and uploaded during the trip, right? And I had a couple of videos filmed and ready to go. And then I came back and I was sick. And I mean sick. And then let's go into the shade Fossil. I'm going to use the brush that's in the palette with this shade, and we're just gonna build that up on the outer V. I think it's like the same level of depth as Harvest, but it's just a little bit of a cooler tone. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay, I don't need to use this shade anymore. It's really not doing anything except adding a little bit of cool undertone to Harvest. Okay, it's not building depth or anything. I'm gonna build depth, so let's go in with Volcanic. So I had a cough. It was a slight cough. It wasn't anything crazy, but I definitely had a cold. My throat felt icky and I was hoarse. Like I'd pretty much lost my voice. Ooh, this shade is not as rich as I thought it would be. That's actually a good thing, because if you have a lighter skin tone, you don't have to be intimidated by these deeper shades. Let me go back in with the brush I was using before. Okay, that is picking up a little bit more of the color. So, I mean, the brush in the palette is cute. Like, the handle is nice, but I don't know that it's necessarily the best brush. I don't like these bristles on the black end of the brush. So let's just keep using my Rose and Bend brush, which actually picked up a little bit more of the pigment. And this is a synthetic brush. It's not like it's natural here. So yeah, I was coughing, sore throat. I lost my voice. I was hoarse. I'm still sick. I am still sick. To this day, I am still sick. How many weeks later is it? 3-4 weeks? Still sick. And it's not that I'm like, oh my God, I'm feeling the same as I did initially. It's just that I have a lingering cough. It's every now and then I'll cough. I'll get like an itchy throat and I'll cough, but it's still there and I still have a little bit of a cold. I'll cough things up every now and then. That's not too cute, but I'm not deathly sick. And that's the thing. I didn't have a temperature. I was down for the count for like 3 days, but then after that, you know, it got better. And it's not that I feel tired anymore or feel really terrible. This is a 212 brush from BK Beauty. This is just a smaller blender brush. And I'm going in with the shade Candor, which is the deeper brown. This one is a little bit more cool tone. You guys know I love a smoky look, so I definitely need to smoke that outer corner out. There's also a black, but I'm not going to use that. I think this dark brown is enough. And that's what I like about this palette. We have varying levels of depth. And then the mattes, we have different undertones. So you have this really warm mustard, this tan shade, like it's more of a neutral brown. Then we have the cool tone like brown. Then we go deeper, so we have deepening shades. We have a darker kind of mauve shade, the black, and the deeper rich brown. And I love that because then you can create different depths, which is what I'm saying about this palette. Like the color story, it just pulled me in. I was like, yes. And the way they did the distribution of shades. Even though Simone said that like they were creating duos, I feel like overall the palette itself is cohesive with the varying undertones. She just has matching shimmers to the matte. So the undertones, like she'll have a warm shimmer and a warm matte, which it's, I mean, well done, well done. But the name is throwing everybody off. They're like, this ain't cool neutrals. Like, what are you talking about? It's really not cool neutrals. So yeah, I came back sick and I'm still kind of sick because every now and then I'll start coughing. It's a whole situation and I'm still coughing up some mucus. Ew, not cute. But it hasn't gotten, like it hasn't changed color. Still clear. So I feel like a part of it is allergies too, but I don't have allergies, which is weird. But who knows, right? Who knows? As you get older, sometimes things change in your body. Who knows? Let's go in with Brazil, which is this beautiful shimmer shade. And let's use the flat side of the brush. Let's see what that does. So that applies the shade pretty nicely, but it just gives a wash. If you really want intensity, you're gonna need to dampen your brush, which I'm going to do. If I can find my spray. This is just my Smashbox primer water. You can also use your finger or a tackier base. But yeah, so I'm sick. Didn't really feel like filming because if you don't feel that great, you don't want to film, right? And I've just been busy. So I came back, had to dive back into work because I was gone for a whole week. So of course I had to catch up on work. And then guess what? Guess what? Bought a house. I bought a house. So I already told you guys that I was house hunting. I was doing the open houses, like going back and forth. So that was a part of it too. Like going back and forth to houses, trying to find a house that I liked. Because my plan was to make sure that I bought a house before my lease expired. But it wasn't like critical at all. Like my lease expires at the end of May. But I could have always extended. This is a beautiful color. Brazil. Because it's like a tan shade. But it's not too warm that it looks coppery, and it's not too yellow where it looks too gold. It's like a beautiful neutral, and I always love these neutral, like almost like skin tone shades for me, so I can almost use them as a one and done because they blend in so well with my skin tone. That is nice. I'm just turning the brush on the side so I can blend out the harsh edge that you can create when you use your shadows damp. So the lease expires at the end of May, but technically I could have gone month to month and just paid for an extra month if it ran over. But I made an offer on 2 houses that I liked, and people just overbid. They were like, no, we want this house. And they went up like 30 grand. And I'm like, yeah, you can have that. I'm not competing. Like, I'm not doing that. Please stop it. Houses were nice, but not worth those prices. The house that I bought right now is not even worth the price that I paid for it. But I went above the asking price because I just wanted to make sure I got it because it was such a nice house. I fell in love with it, right? And I got it, thankfully. I was one of the first people that saw the house, right, when it just went on the market. So I made an offer same day. I was like, yep, make the offer, right? So the owners were like, all right, we're not gonna do any more tours, no open house, you know, we're gonna go with your offer, or we have a cash offer, right? So it's between me and the cash offer. And girl, I'm gonna do a whole rant about that because house hunting is just, it was a whole thing. So I'm gonna do a rant. I'm gonna do a video about that, just my experience with that. And I haven't given you guys a good rant video in a while, so I will talk about that. But suffice to say, my offer I think was better than the cash offer, and my offer was close to cash. Just, you know, close enough to being the same kind of, what would you say? it wasn't cash, all cash. Like, I'm not paying all cash. But because my financial status, like my approval from my bank and everything was so strong, it was good as cash, pretty much. So it was a debate, like, who do they want to go with? And I wrote them a letter. So apparently that was kind of banned a while back, but it came back where the buyer can write a letter to the seller, like saying things and trying to, you know, make them take your offer over somebody else's offer, right? So like kind of sweetening the deal and flattering them and telling them why you want the house and all that. So I wrote a letter. I was like, listen, I really like your house, blah, 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 blah. There are templates online you can use. You don't, you know, don't think it's that crazy. Just personalize it as much as you can. But like, that will give you a leg up. So I did that. My realtor was amazing. Oh my God, my realtor, she's now my friend because she lives close to the house that I bought. So she is my neighbor. Oh, the shade I went in with was Angel Wing, this shimmer here. It's the lightest shimmer in the palette. And I just used it on the inner tear duct. Let me go in with a clean brush because I think that one has product on it. But yeah, my realtor, amazing. And she was really helpful, walking me through the process, explaining the process, like giving me tips and tricks to get my offer accepted, all that stuff. So I had the best realtor. I had the best closing team. Even my mortgage company, oh my God, the team that did my mortgage was so helpful and they were fantastic. So nothing about the process, thankfully, was a headache. And like I said, I was coming in as a strong buyer. So thankfully, you know, I was in a good position to buy a house. But even so, like just buying a house in this market, girl, what? Buy a house, they said. It will be fun, they said. No, it's not. No, it's not. And if I had known, well, I did know, which is why I didn't buy a house all this time. Plus, I didn't really set my sights on being anywhere permanently, even though I was in New York for 20 years. Let's be real. I was going to buy a house in New York before I got divorced. It's a good thing we didn't, because then we'd have to deal with that split. Even though my ex and I, we would have worked that out. We wouldn't have had an issue. I didn't have an acrimonious divorce. We're still pretty chill. Like, we were never that type of couple anyway. We weren't gonna fight over anything. So I mean, we would have been fine splitting a house, but just having to go through that process, thankfully we didn't. And there's no highlighter shade for the brow in this palette, and not many people do brow highlights anymore, but I'm going to because I just like a brow highlight. Plus I need to set my concealer anyway. So yeah, the process was fine. Like, these people that I was working with, and it was all females except for my home insurance, which you had to get as a part of the mortgage. So the home insurance, it was a guy and he was fine. I mean, my realtor kind of interfaced with him mainly, but everybody else that I dealt with, all females, and it was, I loved it. I loved it. Like, really supportive women, loved it. Okay. This primer has dried down. It's not as sticky anymore. My skin feels fine. It feels hydrated. I don't see any blurring, like I didn't expect any blurring. Let me just clean up any fallout, which is why I do my eyeshadow first. I don't do base makeup first. So yeah, the process was fine. And if you want to hear more about it, like I said, I'm gonna rant because I feel like there needs to be a rant. I need to get this off my chest because it's just, it was a mess. Let me do another pump of the primer just for good measure. But yeah, I bought a house. So I am about to be moving, but I was also going through that process, like the closing, which really and truly, like I said, it was kind of seamless just based on how I was coming in. So I didn't have to do like a ton of legwork, but it was still like a process, right? Doing the open houses, going back and forth, doing the offer, like getting the insurance, getting the inspections done. In Florida, you have to do a lot more than I think other states. Probably not a lot more, but you definitely have to do more. So the inspection has to get done so you can get what is called a 4-point report. it's wind mitigation. So you have to check your roof and check your hurricane protection and all that for the insurance company to give you an estimate, right? Because you need insurance in Florida. Hello, hurricane and all that. Thankfully, I don't need flood insurance because I'm not by the water. But like, you have to go through that whole thing, get the insurance, and then the taxes are expensive. It's a whole deal. So all those people who are telling you like, buy a house, it's so, no, none of it was, no. And then now that I have the house, so I just closed last week, and now I'm doing the fixes before I move in, which thankfully there aren't a lot of fixes, which is one of the criteria that I made like known to my realtor. I don't want a fixer-upper. I don't want anything that I have to do a lot of work on. I'm not doing that. Let's go in with our foundation. We're going to use the Urban Decay Face Bond. I have two shades, 24 and 25. I forget which shade I think 24 is probably the shade I should go with. This is medium neutral. And then this is medium deep cool olive. So it's a little bit of a different undertone, same kind of depth. Let's try both though. I forget which shade. I think the 24 is my shade in my video with Kelsey, but I got 25 as well. Urban Decay did send me this foundation, so that's why I have two shades. So they sent me one shade. I think they sent me 24. I chose that online. They asked me to choose which shade I wanted, but they have 40 shades from fair to deep. So I feel like they did a pretty good shade range. So they have 4 different categories, right? And I think it's a good distribution. What do you guys think? They even have shade 40, which is a richer tone. And they have various undertones for the deep shades. We have like warm, more red, more neutral. I feel like they did a good job. And I fall in the medium range and I'm lighter medium. So I'm 24, 25, and then we have all these shades after me, which is not usually the case. Usually I have like 2 shades, 3 shades, 4 shades maximum after my shade. So for them to have this many after me, I fall almost in the middle of the range. I'm in the 20s. I'm 24, 25, and they have 40 shades. So to me, they did a pretty good job. And there are 3 ways to apply. Full coverage, use your fingers. Medium coverage, use a brush. And then light coverage, use a sponge. And they sent me the sponge. And the sponge is a nice chunky sponge, right? It's this fat sponge right here, and I've used it. I love it. I love it so much. So it's up to 24-hour foundation. It's waterproof, medium buildable coverage. Can't feel the coverage, so it's lightweight. There is a serum included, which improves skin's texture and feel. It's clinically tested because it has 3% niacinamide. I don't know what they tested it with. And apparently you don't have to set it because it's self-setting with a natural matte finish, okay? Oh, here's the study. Based on a 4-week clinical study of 75 people using the product daily. Okay, they also tout their precision no mess dropper. So it is different. It is innovative. I think it's a great little dropper. It's a tiny hole at the tip. You can squeeze it on your face, squeeze it on a palette like I do. But you're right, there's no mess and you can get just the amount you want. And it's a plastic bottle, easy to travel with. It's slim. I really like this. Like just upon initial impressions, I was like, yes, I really like this. And then I've worn it a couple of times. And I really, really like it. So let me go in. Let's do shade 25. See, I feel like 25 is my shade. This is the olive shade, the cool olive. But then in the video with Kelsey, she was like, no, I think 24 is your shade. Because 24 is the shade she picked up. I think she went and got shade 23 after. But I love the way this feels. Let me do 24 now. Right? I feel like both of them work for me. And that's why I think I'm a true neutral. Because if I can go between shades like this, it's a different undertone for sure. It's definitely more neutral, almost leaning a little bit more peachy tan than olive. Don't you think that the olive is my shade? Hold on, let me close my blinds. All right, is that better? I don't know how the lighting's gonna be in my new beauty room. So I have multiple rooms. Of course I had to because I need a home office. But I also have like an extra room. It's kind of interesting how the house is set up. Because I have like 3 living spaces and a kitchen. So I could choose to put my office in one of those living spaces because I don't need a dining room necessarily. And then I have 2 other rooms to figure out what to do with. I can make one a dining. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. Either way, yeah, the fixes that have to happen after you move in, no one tells you all this, right? Everybody's like, yeah, get a house, da, da, da. And I'm like, So I have to paint, okay? So that's the first thing I'm doing. I'm painting, and I'm painting the whole house white. And I know that's so like basic. I'm a basic bitch. Like, that's just me. I am basic as hell. This foundation, absolutely love it. I love it with a brush. I haven't used my fingers with it. I don't think I need to. It just glides on well with my brush. It's smooth, but it's not creamy. It's not too emollient. It's not thin where it's runny, but it's thin in that it feels very lightweight on the skin. It looks beautiful. It is definitely a medium coverage foundation. The 2 different shades, I feel like they both melted into my skin really well. I will still use a concealer though, just because, you know, I'm a concealer girly, but like the finish, it really is a natural matte. I love this I love it. When I say I love it, I think Urban Decay definitely came out the gate with a banger. It's definitely a hit. And even though the Stay Naked foundation has been discontinued, I don't feel so bad anymore because the replacement, kinda really good. Kinda really good. So thank you, Urban Decay, for sending that my way. But I did pick up my shade, my other shade from the line anyway myself during the Sephora sale, and I have no regrets. All right, let's go in now with the Salt New York concealers. So Salt New York was also one of the, I guess, not a sponsor, because the trip wasn't really about sponsors. We did have a main sponsor, Sigma Beauty, but we also got goodies from other brands. So Salt New York was one of those brands that we got goodies from. And the owner, Kiki, was on the trip. Kiki is a blast. Kiki is amazing. She is not like any other brand owner where they're uptight or whatever. She was having fun with us. She was letting loose. And I love her for that. I love her. So she reached out and she was like, hey, do you want any more products? You know, she was setting up like affiliate links and affiliate codes and all that. So I will leave my affiliate codes on the screen as well as down below for Sigma and also for Salt New York, because they set us up with their affiliate links. And I'm like, oh my God, that's so great. So I do have affiliate discount codes now with both brands. So I will leave them down below and on screen. But they reached out after and they were like, anything else you want to try? And I'm like, actually, I want to try the concealers, because we got to choose products. We got to choose 4 of the products, or I think it was 5 that we wanted to try. And I got mainly blushes, right? And I was like, hold on, because I already have the skin tint and a few of their blush shades. So I just went with blush shades because the skin tint is not really my vibe. And I was like, hold on, since you're offering, I would love to try the concealer, because Kiki was telling us about the concealer, the new concealer. And I was like, all right, send me a concealer. So I got the shade N06. I also have N07 and N08. So the numbers, the higher the number, the lighter the shade. The lower numbers, the starting numbers, are the deeper shades, which is cute, right? Kiki's all about making sure her shades, like, you know, are as inclusive as possible. So I said, Kiki, let me try out the concealer. I don't want the tint. I don't love it, but let me try out the concealer. So they come in these magnetic pans, and you can get the zipper palette to put them in, but they'll fit in any other magnetized palette. I'm using this from Rephr. Love this brush. It's like a flat angle top concealer brush. And I mean, you can use it for eyeshadow too, but it works for concealer. So I'm just gonna apply that under the eyes. I think N06 has more of an olivey undertone. You see how emollient it is? Kiki offered a tip of applying these with a dry sponge if you have oily skin, because that will take away some of the creaminess. But I figured with a concealer, I can get away with it being a little bit more emollient rather than like a skin tint. Now you can definitely see the contrast. Yeah, you can see the contrast between this and then the Urban Decay product, because the Urban Decay is matte, this is more dewy. So here's where the dry sponge comes in. I'm gonna use that to blend that out. Okay, Kiki. It's a cute little concealer, but it's definitely a lot more hydrating and a little bit more shiny than I would like necessarily. And that's not knocking the product, because I know there are people that love this product. Let me go in with the lightest shade, N03. Let's see if we can do a little highlighting in the forehead area. But there are people on the market for more emollient products, especially if you have dry skin. You can get some use out of these products. For me, it's probably not a go. Not for the concealer, unless you really need a hydrating concealer and you're going to take the necessary steps to set it down with a powder. And of course, blend with like a dry sponge, because it's definitely working with the dry sponge. But you see how my foundation is definitely more on the matte side? It's showing that contrast, which I don't necessarily love. You know, I don't love that for me, and I feel like I need to set it down right away. So, not my favorite, but kudos to Kiki. I think she's a great person. I just don't love the complexion products as far as the foundation and then the concealer goes. Let's set that down with my one size powder really quick before it starts settling into my lines and creasing. And like I said, you can do this if you don't mind setting down your products if you have oily skin, but for dry skin, you may really like this. It's a nice blendable product for sure, and they're lightweight, so they'll work for someone who's just looking for something more effortless. Let me also use the Sculpting shade. So I got the shade Medium Deep, which is what I told the PR person that I wanted to try that shade. So she sent it over. And what brush should I use? Let's see. Let's use this brush from Profusion, which is a foundation brush, but it's small and I feel like it will pick this product up and kind of place it where I need it. So I'm just gonna dab in the product, and I feel like this is a little less emollient than the skin tint and then the concealer too. So it's not as glowy. Okay, that's a nice shade and it's blending really well. So what was this one? Medium Deep. I think I got medium before and it was too light. So this is, ooh, okay. And I think she has richer shades. Yeah, Medium Deep. Cheek Tint Duo. You don't have to use a lot of it. It's kind of very pigmented. That's a good little Sculpting shade for sure. It has like a neutral leaning undertone, a little bit more gray for that sculpted kind of, you know, chiseled look to the cheeks. Okay. Yes, Miss Kiki, I will take it under advisement. That is cute. Okay, so I'm happy to say the contour product is a little less emollient, a little less shiny. Oh, I'll definitely be getting use out of this one. Yes. They're also little singles. Hold on. They're the little pots, so they're wooden palettes, and you can put your little pans in here. And I think this is the shade Medium, right? Yeah, this is the one that I had gotten initially, and I feel like it's just a little bit lighter. I mean, it still works though, right? Let me make sure. I don't want to tell you guys the wrong thing, so let me make sure. Yeah, this is Medium. So it's a little bit warmer than the Medium Deep, but you see, they're definitely different shades. Medium Deep is definitely darker, but this one will still give you a little kiss of color, but it's not as rich. I can probably still use both shades though, right? Let me use a little bit on my hairline to see how that goes. It's definitely still a little bit glowy, a little bit emollient. It's not a dry product. Yeah, it definitely gives a little color. But if you are my complexion, go for medium deep. I don't think medium is necessarily our shade. But that's the concealer and the contour. Let's do one of the blush shades. So yeah, I am in the process now of painting. So painting all white. Yep. Easy peasy, because I feel like once furniture is in the house, once I've lived in the house, then I'll decide any accent shades. But my base color needs to be a white, and it's a Chantilly white, which is a little warmer, so it's not a pure white. I didn't want a pure white. My cousin is helping me with that because he does contracting, so he's helping me with all that, thankfully. There are other things that I have to do that he can't help with, but the painting right out the gate he can do. So excited for that. Painting everything white because right now it's blue. It's blue. The owner, she loved blue, okay? And her husband was like, do what you want to do, girl. I'm going to go in with Sunburnt, which is the lip and cheek duo, which is a cream shade, which is what I was saying. Like, I like the cream shades. I feel like they're lightweight, they're buildable, and I love the colors, and they aren't as intimidating as like a liquid blush, and they're buildable. So you can go from light, like a light wash, and build it up, and they blend beautifully. Like, right? That's such a stunning color. So the lip and cheek tints definitely, I think, are versatile in that they can cover different skin tones as well as skin types. The concealer and the skin tint, manage your expectations. Like, what are you looking for? What are you looking for? So doing the walls, that's the first thing. Then I am doing the floors. So I have wood floors and I am refinishing them. The color right now is like this really deep caramel, and I'm like, it's pretty. However, it's not my style. It's a little bit more old school, so I want it to be a lighter shade. It's solid pine, so I can buff it and then restain it into the color I want. Then I'm also staining the garage floors. So you know garage floors, they tend to be unfinished, like it's just concrete. This is so pretty. Oh my god, that's so pretty. Kiki, do you love me? Are you Did you see the beef, the rap beef that is happening right now between Kendrick Lamar and what's his face, Drake, and even what's his other face? Oh my god, he tapped out. I forget his name. I can't be bothered. I don't care about it, so it's not a big deal to me. But like, they're fighting. Like, why are they fighting? They're fighting. The girls are fighting. I'm gonna use Rust, which is one of the highlighters. So I'm gonna use it as kind of a blush topper. Let's see what that does. Oh, she pretty. But it's a deeper shade, so I can use it technically as a blush. But it would be a highlight for richer skin tones. But to me, the glow is subtle. There's a little bit of sparkle in it, but it's not overwhelming. Oh, that's pretty. Okay, the sculpting shades, the cheek tints, and the highlight shades definitely get a thumbs up from me. Good job, Kiki. But yeah, Kendrick Lamar and Drake are fighting, and Kendrick Lamar is not. I don't know if you know who those people are. I barely do. I know them by name, not by music. Well, Drake I know, because Drake is kind of a pop star. To me, Drake is a pop star rapper. He's not hip-hop. I'm sorry. His music is more like, I'm doing a little bit more contour or bronzing with the Too Faced stick. This is the Melton Bronzing Sculpting Stick in Chocolate Caramel. I feel like I want a little bit more bronzing in my hairline, and that tan shade wasn't like bronzy enough, but the deep shade definitely gave me the contour. So I don't need a contour, I just need a bronzer. So I'm gonna use this Too Faced stick, which I also picked up during the Sephora sale, and I really like it. Like, I really got some winners in that haul. I am so happy that I got them. I wasn't gonna buy any makeup, but Kelsey Brianna J, you see how it warms up my skin? And then the skin tint in medium wasn't doing that. I feel like Kelsey really influenced me to get the products, and I'm happy she did, because all of these products I'm loving. I am loving. Okay, next new product. The Hourglass Vanish Powder. So this is the Vanish Airbrush Pressed Powder. 0.37 ounces, 10.5 grams. and it's a lot of money. Let me see, how much is this powder, girl? And it was sold out during the Sephora sale when I decided to pick it up, so I had to pick it up from the Hourglass website. I got 10% off, but like $54 for this powder though, Hourglass. But first of all, Kelsey told me it was great, and then Anika, okay, from, does she still post on YouTube? Not really anymore, but she was like, oh, it's great. She texted me, she's like, girl, you gotta get this. I'm like, fine. So I did get it. I got it in translucent tan. Let's read what the box says. Oh, it doesn't say anything on the box. It just says, for touch-ups, use the puff applicator to pick up a small amount of product and apply evenly by pressing onto skin. So it's a touch-up powder. What kind of powder is it? Like, what's going on? There are only 5 shades, so it should be translucent. This does say translucent tan, which is the second to darkest shade, but it's a sheer golden shade. It is a talc-free sheer pressed powder, clinically shown to instantly reduce shine for an airbrushed finish that lasts all day. So it's light, it's matte, and it's a pressed powder. So it is really kind of like a blotting powder apparently. So I'm gonna use it just all over my face, very lightly. Again, it's gonna take away some of the shine from the cheek products mainly because the foundation isn't shiny, and then also to set the foundation. It's very lightweight, it's very thin. Is it going to replace my Kosas powder? It might. No, stop, oh my god. So here's the thing, it's very thin, it's very sheer, it just sets everything down and it mattifies. The Kosas powder kind of does the same thing too, but I feel like the Kosas powder has a little bit more coverage to it, almost a little bit, and this one is very sheer. But you see how it mattified, and I didn't have to use a lot of product, and a lot didn't even pick up on the brush when I picked it up. So I feel like it might rival my Kosas. I will use them interchangeably, so it's not like I'm gonna replace my Kosas. But low-key, I like it just because of how sheer it is. But it's very expensive. I would never buy it full price. Hopefully you can get a discount. This brow gel that I'm using is from Make Beauty. It's the new one. This is the Infinite Hold Sculpting Brow Gel. So this is a long-wearing brow gel. It's not a flexible hold. It's meant to like set the brows in place. And I like it. And look at the packaging. It's a little pricier, but I mean, she holds the brows in place. It's a thicker brow gel, and I like it. Okay, mascara. I'm going to, where is it? Oh my god. So I have the new Win Beauty. I'm gonna do a full video on Win Beauty. I also have a collaboration video coming up with Kelsey. We're gonna do monthly collabs. Let me know if that's something that you'd be interested in. We talked about it and we're like, we need to bring the community back to the beauty community. We want to interact more and just do videos together and share the excitement of beauty again without like the competition. Like, let's just have fun with makeup, and we're not so stuck on reviews anymore. We do Get Ready With Me's where we just chat, we hang out. I know a lot of you guys, the majority of my audience, that is like my core audience, my subscribers, you guys love to just hang out. You're not necessarily here to just talk about the products. You want to just chat. So we're gonna do monthly videos where we may try out products. We may just talk about a topic that you guys suggest. We already have a topic in mind for May, but we're gonna do this monthly, and I'm holding Kelsey to it. We just have to figure out the best filming setup for it, because right now we just did FaceTime and just filmed it, but FaceTime doesn't record the audio, so syncing up the audio with our cameras, it's a nightmare. But this way we get like HD quality for videos, but we'll figure it out because the next video will just be a talking video, so we won't necessarily need HD for the makeup application. So we'll play around with it, but look forward to that. It's just gonna be us hanging out monthly. Once a month we'll post a video, just chilling and vibing. But we have a video coming up with Win Beauty by Serena Williams, and I have her new mascara, but nothing tops at the end of the day my Huda Beauty One Coat Wow. It's not one coat wow. It's like a couple of coats and it's extra wow. I love this mascara so much. I mean, look how my lashes like magnified right there. Like they duplicated, replicated, they had babies. They're like, girl. And then my little MAC Giga Black, I pulled out a new one. So like I said, I'm gonna be moving, gonna be packing. You're probably gonna see less content, but I'll try to film and post some content, you know, while I'm moving and setting up. We will see. I'm not moving with a ton of furniture. I'm not moving with a ton of things. So hopefully I'll be set up and ready to go. And I have time to move. So the house is mine, but my lease doesn't expire until the end of the month. So I have time to like move things slowly. But like I said, I have to do the floors. Oh, the floors, the walls, the painting, the garage where I'm glazing. I was telling you about that. So I'm glazing the garage floors. So it's like a smooth finish. Right? And that's what I'm doing right now. I might remodel the kitchen later on, but for right now, I'm not doing a lot. I wanted a move-in ready house where I didn't have to do a ton of renovation because I'm not trying to do that. I have hurricane impact doors. I don't have to worry about that. The roof is all good. The pool, I do have a pool now, so I will be swimming and stuff, but the pool needs to be refinished at a later date. Not now, and I need to put up a fence because there are no fences. A lot of people don't have fences in Florida. I'm all about privacy. I'm from Jamaica where you have your fenced in yard, okay? That's just what we're used to. Even in New York, there were fenced in areas around the property so people couldn't just walk onto your property, which is the key thing. You can't just walk on. Like, where are you going, right? So that's what I'm working on right now. But I'm excited. I am really excited, but we need a lip. All right, I feel like I want to do a pinky lip because my top has kind of like pinky peach. This look is kind of neutral, so I don't have to do like, oh, only warm, only cool. And I'm going to grab these Revlon shades. So these are the Revlon Super Lustrous lipsticks. I have a couple of shades. I'm going to grab Laid Back Lilac, which is a pinky shade. Let's see what that looks like. It's a cream. They have metallic ones that kind of have a shine to them. And they have, do they have mattes or is it just cream? I don't really have a lot of pink lipsticks, I realized. Pink? No, it's not my thing. I think pink was like a throwback thing. This one is Nude Fury. Okay, let's try this one instead. I heard really great things about these. I don't get it. I don't get the hype. I would say, yeah, they're cute, but they're just like, they're not even like pigmented lipsticks. They're just like a little balmy color, which I guess is okay if you just go, you know what? I can vibe. It's just like a glaze of color. It's in the drugstore. She's fine. A glaze of color. I'm used to like matte lipstick, intense color, yeah, or a lip gloss, which let's put on a lip gloss anyway. Ooh, let's do the pink from Armani Beauty that Kelsey made me get. These are the prismatic glasses and they are prismatic. They do a little shiny thing that I don't know why or how, but let's just pop that on and we'll call it a day. But yeah, things are shifting around. I'm not gonna do a makeup room tour unless it's like really nice, but it's gonna be like a similar setup to this. I don't see it shifting much except, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how it's gonna look because the room layouts are a little bit different. Like where the window placement is versus where the closet placement is and the door. It's kind of weird to get a background while still storing everything well. It's just a little bit weird. It's gonna take some getting used to, but I'll play with it. But you're gonna see a new room soon, new setup, and hopefully it all works out. Hopefully it all works out. But I'm moving. All that to say, I'm moving, I'm packing, I'm decluttering. I'm gonna film some declutters, not a lot. Don't expect too much. Okay, don't expect a lot. It's a lot to pack and move, so, you know, it's stressful and I still have work. So it's not like I'm not working. I'm still working. So I haven't had a lot of time. Being sick, working, and moving. I haven't had a lot of time to dedicate to videos because at the end of the day, I'm tired and I'm not trying to film. But I definitely wanted to come on, check in with you guys, do this fun look, which let me tell you right now, this eyeshadow palette, if you're looking for a neutral eyeshadow palette, I think this one, it's a winner. It's a good one. The eyeshadows applied blended well. I like it overall. And then the foundation. I love it. Some people have said it's a little bit too matte for them. So if you have dry skin, maybe you have to just prep your skin really well because it is matte. It dries matte. It's not a dry matte. Like it doesn't suck the life out of your skin, at least not to me, but it's definitely a matte. So it's natural matte. It's not caked on or baked on matte, but it's gonna finish matte. So just hydrate your skin. I said matte way too much, but just hydrate your skin. Do your skincare, prep your skin before you apply this, and I mean, it's worth trying out. Lightweight. Like, I can barely feel this on my skin, and that's saying a lot because most foundations I'll feel. This one, lightweight, easy. I can see me wearing this all summer, just easy. And I don't need a lot to get the coverage, which also lends to it being lightweight because you're not piling on the product. Easy. I love it. I really love it. And then the little foamy thing, this is kind of cute. I will take this with me traveling because it works as like a hydrating step as well as a priming step. I don't know if the priming part is there, but it still makes that priming prep step fun because it's a foam and it does have a little tack to it. And it didn't leave my skin feeling overly hydrated. Didn't feel slippy and sticky. Well, it's a little sticky, but the stickiness goes away once it sets down. But the stickiness helps with your foundation like clinging to it. But it didn't pull on my foundation or cause my foundation to pull when I was applying it, even though it's a matte foundation, right? So I like this as well. I don't know that it's like doing anything extra, but who doesn't love something fun to apply before their makeup? So it's a good prep step. I do like it as well. Concealer from Salt New York. It did its job. Like, it looks good. It did the coverage thing. But you're going to need to set it for sure. And I mean, all concealers I set. So I'll definitely use it. But it's emollient. If you have dry skin, it may be a concealer that you want to try out. Yeah, the concealer, cute, right? But it's not my go-to product from the line. I think the cheek products like the contour, the little sculpting shade, the cheek and lip tint, the blushes, nice. The little highlighter, definitely nice. So those would be the products I would say check out from the line. And their little zipper pouches, really nice for travel as well. And like I said, they have the little individual pans if you just wanted to travel with a single shade. But yeah, I think overall the products are fun, but just manage your expectations. If you're trying the skin tint, it's thin, it's kind of sheer coverage, and it's very emollient. So if you have dry skin and maybe normal skin, fine. Concealer, same kind of situation. You definitely get the coverage, but it's gonna be more emollient. The cheek products I think are the most like universal and versatile products in the line, and they have some fun shades to try out. Apply and blend like a dream. The Hourglass powder, I was a little skeptical, not gonna hold you. I was like, whatever, Hourglass, but it's a nice powder, lightweight but mattifies and blots. It's like a blotting powder, but it's sheer and expensive. So are you gonna get a blotting powder for $54? Maybe not, but I like it. I'll continue to use it and I will repurchase it on sale if I ever run out of it. It reminds me of the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush powder. Similar kind of blurring features, but I feel like it's a little bit more lightweight, a little thinner because it's sheer, but it gets the job done in that sheer wash, right? Loving it. And then the little bronzing stick from Too Faced, I'm still in love with this. I think it's so great for a bronzer. It blends out so easily. It doesn't leave a shiny finish behind. It just melts into your skin. It looks one with your skin. And it's very natural, very beautiful. Like, you can't even tell I'm wearing like a bronzer thing. You can't tell. I love this so much, and I love a cream bronzer, and this is kind of one of my top ones right now. I love my Milani cream bronzer and my Juvia's Place. The Juvia's Place is glowy, so I don't love it as much anymore, but the Milani one definitely is my top one now, so it's drugstore and I love it. But like I said, I just fell in love with this new Too Faced one. Oh, everything's falling. The Too Faced one, loving it. What else did we try? This little lipstick from Revlon. They're okay. Nothing to write home about. I don't think they're that great. They're whatever. And the Giorgio Armani Beauty lip glosses. These Prisma lip glosses. They're just interesting, man. They are glossy. They're glassy. They look like lip glass. They're a little tingly, but they just give the shine to the lips without being sticky and goopy and thick. They're thin. They're lightweight. They look beautiful and shiny without putting a lot of product on. Love these two. I told you, I got bangers during that Sephora sale, like top-notch products that I'm in love with. So there you have it. Those are all the products. That's my life update. Been sick, went on a trip, and bought a house. That's what's going on with me. Summer's coming up. I feel like we're gonna have fun, and like these products kind of reinvigorate. Ooh, I'm shaking things down. These products kind of reinvigorated my joy with makeup because they're fun. They're really good, and I get excited when I try really great products. So I'm kind of excited to keep filming. I'm gonna do some additional videos. You'll see content. It's just gonna be a little slower, you know, because I'm moving and all that. I have all that going on. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, enjoyed hanging out with me, catching up a little bit, and enjoyed seeing me create this look. Oh, I didn't talk about the eyes. Yeah, I did. The eyeshadow's really good. I really like this palette. All right. Mascara, you already know I love it. So there you have it. I will leave a full list of all the products mentioned and used in this video down below in the description box, along with links on where you can pick them up. Those links are going to be affiliate links. I also have YouTube shopping links. Those are also affiliate links. That means I will get a small sales commission if you make a purchase through any of those links. It's a great way to show you support for the channel because it doesn't change the sale price. It just gives me a kickback so I can put right back into the content. So I really appreciate you using my links. I also have various affiliate codes. Those will give you a discount of certain websites as well as give me a kickback. So it's a win-win situation. So I definitely appreciate you using my links again and using my affiliate codes. I will also leave links to my Instagram and Twitter. Twitter's a little crazy, but follow me along if you just want to talk mess, okay? And until my next video, which will be very soon, I'll talk to you. Bye, guys.